Hello, people of the internet. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Happy Saturday to you all. Hope you are enjoying your weekend. It is good to be back in the hot seat. Oh man, it has been a tumultuous 48 hours. Let me show you the main reason behind the old little impromptu hiatus. My sweet prince, a 2 terabyte hard drive that's been with me for 7, 8 years now, decided to give up the Kosh. And yeah, this apparently had everything in it. Like it had my Photoshop and my OBS and my Sony Vegas, and essentially every piece of video editing software that I needed was on this. I'm waiting for some parts to come in, see if I can fix it on my own before I splash like £200 for data recovery. But I have made do with what I have left. I think my chair's a little bit squeakier than it was before, but I've got fresh OBS, I've got fresh Windows. I don't have Photoshop, but I do have my laptop that has Photoshop, so we have quite a workaround. But we're back to making videos, and this is one of the things that I've been very excited to jump into. This is Queendom Puzzle. As much as I hate Mnet shows, and like kind of the editing behind Mnet shows, the stuff they produce is always really good. And I'm hoping Queendom Puzzle is the same way. I very much rather enjoyed Queendom 2 last year for all that it was worth. Like the last time we really got to appreciate Luna. Same with Brave Girls. We got an absolute heater of a Wuju Sonya era that came after that. Last sequence, oh, spectacular. Kepler's been on a tear. Still going. Who else am I missing? Luna. Oh, BBG. BBG even dropped an album afterwards. It's like we got a whole lot of stuff from all the groups. And we've got another new lineup, this time like individual members from each group. And we've got 2 stages. So we have Snap and we have the charismatic stages. So I am so out of practice that I don't actually know what I'm doing anymore, but that's okay. I have a notepad pulled up here that has the contestants from each group in it, so I can kind of refer and just kind of point out who's who, because I don't know everybody. I'd like to think I know quite a bit about, especially in the girl group department, because that's like my kind of area of music. Having said that, I don't know every single one of these people by like their face. I've like heard of their groups and I know their names, but I don't know them by face. So this will be a learning experience for me, but also kind of like a delve into what this is going to be like. Because this is an Mnet show, like this is technically like a live stage from M Countdown. You're going to be seeing the thumbnail over whatever is on screen, especially if it's playing a video and whatnot. So if you want to see the uncensored version along with me, link in the description, you'll be able to find it there. If you don't care too much about it, welcome aboard. Let's get started. Snap. So Snap has Cherin and Bora. Oh, Mrs. Bora, back on another competition show. Good lord, she just got off of Girls Reverse. But Bora and Cherin of Cherry Bullet. Lina of Heike. Heike, getting some recognition this year after that Rose Blossom EP. Hell yeah. Sanga of Lightsum. Oh, it is so good to hear back from Lightsum in some capacity. Miss Yeon? Okay, Miss Yeon had just recently made her solo debut. Yorm. We got Yorm. Miss Yorm of Wuju Sonya. Very cool. She had like a little crowning moment in Queendom 2, so it's really great that she gets even more chance to show off on her own a little bit. And then Miss Yuki of Purple Kiss. I definitely spelled it wrong on the notepad, but that is okay indeed. Oh wow, so we got Yeon and Yuki on a track together. Ooh, that could be fun. But I think I've waffled for long enough. Here we go. Snap. Already that sounds heat. Hold on.
나는 매일 너를 두고 웃고 재미있는 상상에 내겐 현실적인 누구에겐 터무니없는 전부 꿈이라면 어때 맘먹은 대로 오케이 때론 조금 나 뜨거워 비밀로 해 이곳은 자유로워 이름도 두고 오렴
The song looks kind of hard. It's a bit slow. I reckon it's gonna build though.
내게 더 집중해봐 Everything is handled by my fingers 1, 2, 3, 4
There's her voice. The unmistakable voice of Bora.
달라진 세상에 익숙해져 있어 Snap, 아야야야 Snap, snap, snap From the front to the back sit 다른 하늘 위로 Snap, snap, snap From the ground to the top Let me see you play it back Fill it up, fill it up, fill it up Bottom up Hold it up, hold it up, hold it up Good night Shake it, shake it, shake it 잘 들어 From the front to the back 열은 내게 맞췄어 Let me see the pop, pop, pop We about to pop, pop, pop 하는 말은 blah, blah, blah 너무 흥미로워
Oh, we're not getting 1-2 rap verses. Here.
이곳은 자유로워 이름도 두고 오렴 새로운 너를 입어 That you were dreaming about it Let me see the pop, pop, pop We're about to pop, pop, pop 다른 밤의 별로 떠오르게
Ooh, get your little vocal moment, Rina. Okay. I love the build on that pre-chorus. It's so dramatic.
From the ground to the top, let me see you play it back. Feel it up, feel it up, feel it up. Bottom up, hold it up, hold it up, hold it up. Feel the night, shake it, shake it, shake it. Ooh. From the front to the back, 아름다운 날이 있어. 아무 이유도 없이.
Oh, chin and smooth with that slide. Yeah, Dina is wild and okay. This bridge is wild, by the way. So that's where the beat was going. I see ya.
From the ground to the top, let me see you play it back.
Lord Almighty. Now here's my question. How many of them are scared of pyro? Is the flinch from that? Oh lord. Okay, hold on. Okay. I just want to read the credits one time. Or is this just going to be... This is going to be video production. Composition, there we go. Lyrics. Kimina and Ryan S. Jun. Okay. I think... Oh, and it's a Zany Bros production. Of course it is. I reckon... treating these almost as like pre-releases, I think, is the best way to approach them, because ultimately, we as like the consuming audience don't really know what's going to come out of this. And the fact that it is a collection of individual idols from pre-established groups that already have somewhat of a distinct sound to it, everything is going to feel really foreign. And frankly, that is kind of the sensation I'm getting from Step, is that I'm hearing idols in situations where I normally wouldn't hear them on. Like, sure, hearing Bora pop off on vocals on the pre-chorus and stuff, that's really nothing out of the ordinary. Like she does that on Cherry Bullet all the time. But it's the whole context of it. It's not just her singing that specific part. It's her singing that specific part preceding and succeeding very different vocals. Like getting Chaden and Lina from Heike harmonizing together in the middle of the song, having Yuki's, that her tone that she has whenever she's rapping, have her rapping next to Yeon, who already has a very her rapping tone is iconic, especially for Cheshires who listen to CLC. And then Sanga turned up like she is like dripping with charisma already on the stage. Like just the way she eats up the camera and eats up stage presence is wild. And I know she's like based off of other people's reactions, like Lightsome and things like that. Sanga has always had that about her, but it is different gravy on the stage. It's such an interesting combo because it's surprisingly really well balanced. Like Cherin and maybe Sanga taking the lower register, Yoram in the middle, Bora and Rina taking the top part, and then Yeon and Yuki taking the rap section. The fact that we're getting kind of like this is essentially a show to create a supergroup again. And Girls Reverse did admittedly a very chaotic, crackheaded job of doing it, but they did a really good job of producing an idol supergroup in a way. Because where else are you going to get Apinks Hayoung, Uju Sonia slash Artemis's Idare Sonia, Jesus Christ. Yeah, Idare Sonia and Artemis's Hijin, Uju Sonia, Subin, and Luda, and Kwonumbi together on a stage. Like, these 5 people are not people that would normally get together to sing. 퀸덤퍼즐 already is providing that kind of element to it. Like, where else are you going to get Cherry Bullet members, Heike members, Lightsome members, former CLC members, Uju Sonia members, and Purple Kiss members together on a stage? It doesn't. Like, these are artists that don't get invited to, like, year-end stages. Maybe, like, a K-Con. But these are not, like... And it hurts me to say this because I love all these groups, but these are not what the general public consider, like, the cream of the crop. Like, these are not, like, the regular showfronters that pop up on, like, NBC Gaio or KBS, Dechuge, things like that. So it's really cool that they're getting their moment to shine together, while individually, but also, like, working together. And I love that element. And this is only one song. We have one more to go. Next up is... This is the charismatic stage, only 6 members. Jihan and Soana Weekly. My Weekly girls are back. Oh, and, my bias. Miss Soan's here as well, okay? Jiwoo of Triple S. Still trying to learn Triple S. It's been a tough journey. Nana and Wuyona Wua. Good lord. Okay, and then Jiwon of Chibur. Okay. So we have 3 Cherry Bullet members already. Dang. I know this is the first F. I know there's supposed to be 26 contestants or something like that. So we're getting half. Which means, are we getting 2 more stages? Very exciting times indeed. But, oh man, it has been so long since I've heard Weekly. Last time they even had a musical release was Christmas. And then Wua was Roller Coaster? Yeah. Jesus. Or was it? I can't remember. But I feel like I haven't listened to Wua in a hot minute. So, here you go. I reckon, like, just from styling alone, this is going to be very different. So let's go. Little audio teaser to start this. Okay, okay.
I'm your type 낯설어하지는 마 따라하긴 so exclusive 맘대로 해석해봐 겁낼 건 없으니까 You can buy me I don't care so white Know that I'm right 비춘 수많은 light Keep riding 선명해져가는 순간 So shiny 점점 더 커져가 심장의 heartbeat 제발 we gonna blow 새로운 날 느껴봐 It's charismatic 뒤집어봐 못해 unsystematic 저 하늘 위구름에 두 발을
They're really showcasing like two of like the main sounds out of current generation of girl group music. I like it.
단숨에 넌 끌려왔어 맨날이 I break all the rules 내가 만나는 value Oh yeah so charismatic
Know your mom 괜찮아 바로 text me now I'm naughty 근데 왠지 fix your eyes 마음 가는 대로 do it 다른 말로 하면 body Be the top notch if I want it get it
Say me now 내 몸이
She was feeling that flow. She was really floating on it.
맡기고 어디든 flow 더 볼륨을 올려줘 멈출 순 없으니 어디든 flow 더 볼륨을 올려줘 멈출 순 없으니
What the heck just happened? Clearly my computer's issues hasn't fleshed itself out yet. As expected, we got Nana kind of doing every single part, whether it's like vocal or like the rep little fills. What's her name? Jiwon? From Cherry Bullet? Nice tone, really soft and gentle.
조명이 비친 내 맘만 소리를 빛날 따라 come over What you say 그 이상의 view 상상도 못할 줄 아는 세계가 너무 눈을 감고서 Just come to me closer
This is a high song.
So up high, no one's gonna stop now 새로운 날 느껴봐 It's charismatic 뒤집어봐 못해 unsystematic
Oh, whoa. Now the beat's back. Who's floating on the vocals back there? Ooh, that stage is actually really interesting to try and break down because it's very different. It's yet another Zany Bros production. Okay, Zany Bros gonna be doing these stages? Because that's pretty good if that's the case. But very like Snap and Charismatic are very much going along like the general trend of girl group music at the moment. Like Snap has that hard hitting girl crush like badass energy to it. Charismatic is like it's kind of got that like the useful vibe to it, but it's also like not that like corner of like bubblegum pop music useful. It's that kind of slower, more mellow vibe that a lot of groups are going for nowadays. Groups like Triple S and well all the units of Triple S and New Jeans, and they're going for that kind of slower vibe. And I think it's very clear what Mnet and like the music team behind the show kind of wanted to produce is like they wanted to appeal to kind of like all the sounds that the girl group market has right now, which I think is smart. And again, keeping in mind that these are kind of like I'm treating them as like pre-releases in a way, it does make it a lot easier to understand these songs. Like it's more palatable in a way. And if I'm being 100% honest, neither of these feel like title tracks. Maybe Snap does a little bit more, but neither of them really have that kind of like impact for me that title tracks would typically have. These feel like really good B-sides, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't have that grasping power to me yet. But what it does do is it has me very much excited for the project, because It's the same thing with Snap. We don't know what the final product of this show is going to be yet. Like what type of sound, what type of music they're going to go for, who's going to be involved with the final lineup. And using these two groups, very distinct music style behind these two groups, really gets the audience excited to see what's to come. And they both do such a good job of that. Speaking of charismatic in particular, though, this one very much, I think, revolved around using a lot of members who can do a lot of different things. So, to me, right off the gate, Nana, I think if you've followed the girl group scene for long enough, you kind of know just how much of an ace Nana is. Like, Girly was born to be a performer. Girly was born to be, like, front and center performer. She's got everything. She's not just an all-rounder. I think it's safe to, like, give her the proper ace tag. But then you have people like Ju, who was, getting on with the singing, getting involved with the high singing on the bridge, but also getting involved with the rapping flow as well. And then I followed Weekly since debut, and I very much have a biased view towards Sone, but Sone for me always has been kind of like that all-rounder for me. He's got the vocal chops, he's also got the choreo ability, then Jihan flexing the high vocals on it as well, along with Wooyeon. Wooyeon and Jiwon of Chebul, this Wooyeon of Wooa, that's a tongue twister and a half, and the Jiwon of Cherry Bullet are two members that I don't really know all that well, but they surprised me on this stage. They really left an impact on me, if that makes sense. I very much enjoyed listening to it. Hmm. I just really hope. I don't actually know how I want to close this because I quite like the songs. Like as a casual listen, I don't know if they'll rank like in my top 10 list for like project singles or anything like that, but I enjoyed it. I ultimately I just love seeing artists from different groups like collaborate together. Some of my favorite performances are when they're big collab stages. Like what was that Gaio stage last year where they brought literally every it was like all the major girl groups of the current generation and they did twice as cheer up together, like that type of stage. Those are my favorites. Even on Queendom 2 last year, gosh, that was last year, wasn't it? Yeah. Queendom 2, like, when we had the little unit stages where we had individual members from different groups come together, those were some of my favorite stages. So 퀸덤퍼즐 as a concept is going to be a show that I really enjoy. But deep down, my rational side knows that this is an Mnet produced show, which means there's going to be elements of the show primarily done on the editing room floor that makes me really despise the show. Which makes me a little bit sad because it's going to take away a little bit of the enjoyment from it. Having said that, if the music that comes out of the show is going to be at this level, at this quality, and better, I'm not going to complain too much about it. And frankly, we're already off to a great start because the lineup, like this is 13 members that we've checked out already. The talent that each and every one of them have is spectacular. And these are all groups that have really only hit like front and center of the mainstream like K-pop world like a couple of times. Which has me really excited because I think fans of like other groups are really going to appreciate just the sheer amount of talent that all these contestants have, with a caveat, as long as Mnet behave themselves on the editing department. I remember what happened last year with Queendom 2 and how people were very upset towards certain fandoms because of how Mnet portrayed members of certain groups to be. And social media already is a hellhole in of itself. But K-pop fandoms do not need any more fuel to go at each other's throats. So, Mnet, I beg of you, please behave yourselves. That's probably an empty prayer, but I'm going to pray regardless. Mnet, please behave yourselves. For one time in your life, please behave yourself. But this has been a fun time. I know I rambled a lot, but, not having done this for 2-3 days, I had a lot to say and I wanted to talk a lot, so apologies for that. But hopefully you didn't mind it too much. Hopefully you enjoyed the music as much as I did. Thank you all for watching if you made it this far. As the usual, one last request from me today. Let us work together as a community to bring a little bit of extra happiness back into the world, whether it be, checking in with your friends and family, holding the door open for a stranger, even picking up a piece of trash off the street. Just one small act of kindness that may brighten up someone else's day-to-day. And know that wherever you are in the world, should you ever be going through a tough time in your life for whatever reason it may be, even though I'm just some guy on the internet who waffles about music in his free time, just know that I will always be a friend, an ally, and a shoulder to lean on whenever you need me. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, spread the love, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.